Good evening, everyone. Oh, I love that. Adequate notice of this meeting, as required by the Open Public Meetings Act, was provided through the posting, mailing, and filing of the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings of the Town Council on December 12, 2023. The notice was on that date posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, provided to the Westfield Leader and the Star Ledger, and filed with the clerk of the town of Westfield. Ms. Loshie, may I have a roll call?
Mayor Brindle?
Here.
Council members Hapgood, Dardia?
Here.
Domagala?
Here.
Kiefer?
Here.
Saunders?
Here.
Armento?
Here.
Contract? Mackey?
Please rise for the invocation, which will be given by Councilman Saunders, or remain standing for the salute.
Today, may we be open to others' ideas and beliefs, respectful of our differences, not threatened by them. May we grow in understanding of one another. Strength, real strength, can always find compromise. Working together, maybe find a common ground, enable us to move forward with a shared purpose. May we see what is truly important and unites us, focusing on that to banish roadblocks of ego and fear. Today, may we be open to others' ideas and beliefs.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, Jim, I first want to acknowledge our second grade Tamaqua Brownie troop that's here tonight, observing for tonight's proceedings for getting their democracy badge. So welcome, girls. We're thrilled to have you. And I wore green for the occasion for Girl Scouts. So, okay, Jim.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So a couple of updates tonight. First of all, the Conservation Center is open, if you didn't know that. Permits can be purchased online, getting to that grass season for cutting grass. But I want to just talk about one thing in the Conservation Center. We have a new program called, company called Helpsy, which we just signed up for. And what it does, it enhances our textile recycling. We've had a clothing opportunity at the center for some time. This new company not only takes clothing, but takes other things such as accessories, belts, shoes. Let me write down what else I said. So basically footwear, shoes, sandals, boots, accessories, hats, belt, gloves, linens, bed sheets, comforters, curtains, table linens. And I think there's already another a bin or two down there. So in addition to the clothing that we've been taking for some time, we've added this other recycling opportunity down there. Helpsy will also be helping us with the Green Team with the free market event, which is in 2 weeks, which will be very helpful as well. So this is another opportunity for recycling. Thanks to Richie Banks and Craig Gibson for bringing something else to our center, in addition to the many, many other recycling opportunities we have at the center. Another topic, Memorial Pool, just a reminder, we're almost out of memberships. Looks to be another year of a successful sellout. There are still memberships available. The Recreation Department will be reaching out to the wait list that is currently pending, and we expect to hopefully fill the pool membership again probably the next number of weeks. So before the season even begins, another successful membership sellout. Also on our website, road paving. Road paving has already started. Actually got a little delay last week because of the rain, but it has started. Elizabethtown Gas is currently paving some of the roads that they worked on last year, doing the utility infrastructure work underground. They're paving some roads now specifically. They've been paving the sections of Scotch Plains, Dorian, Shadow Lawn, High Slip Shack and Maxon, Knollwood, Grove, and an entire length of Nottingham. Some of those are already completed, other ones are underway. So that little grid that they're working on should be done this week or next week. So basically we have about 7.7 miles of road that the town and or the county is doing this year, and about another 12 miles of road that the utility company is expected to do, and that's already started. So you just please go to our website. We recently just posted the 2024 roads list for the town, the 1 mile of road the county is doing in town, which of course I know everyone will be excited to hear. East Broad Street, which is from Euclid to North Avenue, which if you haven't driven down in the center of town there, it's in pretty bad shape. That's their responsibility. And they'll be doing that hopefully in the month of May. which will not only be repaving and milling, but also restriping. If you've been down there, the striping is faded in many areas, so I'll be very excited. Striping for parking, striping for crosswalks, striping for stop bars, et cetera. So that'll be a nice enhancement to the downtown, and we thank the county for doing that. So anyway, there'll be updates every single week or council meeting by me, and please sign up for the Nixle alerts if you haven't already. Residents should do that. We try to put out as best we can every single morning. The police department does updates on where the crews will be, either be Elizabethtown Gas or town crews or county crews, so people know what to expect and what to avoid. One last thing to mention about roads, after a road is paved, there's an emergency, whether it be a sewer or something like that, or some other emergency by utility. We try to really preserve the road paving that is being done. So again, visit our website. The roads lists are up there for 24. And again, if you're on there, we will help you along on that process with the engineering office to get you expedited if you're looking to do a home generator or converting oil to gas, which are two of the most common things we hear that happen. And lastly, sewer fees were obviously due effective April 1st. We're currently in the 10-day grace period, which ends tomorrow. So we're still on pace to have a great collection, but those of you that are out there that have not paid, you have till tomorrow without interest. So please go online and or come in person. The tax office would love to see you. And if you don't get paid every day, there's interest charged after tomorrow's mail is received. Lastly, as the mayor said, we have Girl Scout Troop 40478 here. So again, they're going to be here listening as long as they want. They may cause a bit of a disruption and leave, but we're happy. Leave anytime you want. Don't feel free to stay. Don't feel you have to stay, but we would love to have you here and listen to the process of government. And then lastly, I want to invite up Joe Mindak and members of the American Legion. We've been working with them, obviously, for some time on the project. They're here tonight, actually, to talk about a fundraiser that they're having on April 20th at the Westfield Armory. And I wanted Joe Mindak and members of the Legion, Alan Bateau and others, maybe to say a few words about this fundraiser and what this project means to them. And maybe we can have a picture with the council members, the American Legion members here in the dais to help promote this event besides what they say here tonight, if that's okay. So I'll invite Joe Mindak up first, and Alan and whoever else wants to come up. Thanks, Mayor.
Thanks. Thank you, Jim. Mayor, Council, thank you again for all your support with our event. So if you haven't seen our posters around town yet, or banners, Facebook, all over the place, Instagram, everywhere, we've been putting it out. We have the Spin Doctors coming to town at the Armory on April 20th. So those of you who are my age-ish and remember the Spin Doctors, you'll be excited that we're having them play live. We also have Drop the Needle, which is a local dad band in town. Great, they played the Memorial Day Parade last year. And Melody Murray, an aspiring country music singer, a friend of mine from Hoboken, she's going to be playing as well. We will have, it's $75 for a ticket. That includes the concert, and we're going to have about 60 vendors there, beer, wine, and liquor. It's all included in that. So we have bourbon tasting, we have wine tastings, we have a beer truck. There's also about 7-8 food trucks outside. If anyone wants to buy food, that's a separate purchase. But we're expecting a big crowd, so we wanted to tell everyone tonight what we're doing, when it is. Again, April 20th. From 6 to 10 p.m. The Spin Doctors go on at 8 o'clock. That's the big ending of the show. And all the proceeds for that night go to the American Legion. As most people have heard, hopefully in town, that we are doing a project to rebuild the American Legion post in town here. So we're going to tear down the post that is on North Ave right now, and we're going to build a brand new American Legion with 22 units of housing for homeless veterans. Also a brand new banquet hall, about 3,000 square foot banquet hall for events and different things in town for the town to use, as well as office space and other things that will be there. So really excited about the project. Appreciate all the support from the mayor and the council, everyone here, and we're excited again. So if you could go buy your tickets, go online. You can go to westfieldamericanlegion.org and you can find the event on there. If you can't make it that night, you can also donate right on the page right there. And also you could find, just type in, Spin Doctors, Westfield Armory. It's on their page and all that, so you should be able to find it. So thank you for letting us be here tonight. And I'm going to let Alan come up and tell you the importance of the night and why we're raising this money. So.
Hi, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. The American Legion was founded on 4 pillars: Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, National Security, Americanism, and Children and Youth. Each of these pillars encompasses a variety of programs that benefit our nation's veterans, its service members, their families, the youth of America, and ordinary citizens. Martin Wahlberg American Legion Post 3 received its permanent charter on September 6th in 1919. And since that time, the members of this post have consistently worked on fulfilling our promise to uphold these pillars or principles. We have participated in far too many projects to list here today, so I won't. But let me assure you that we have worked not only with and for our veterans, but also with this town for the last 105 years. Now, 2 years ago, this project was brought before us by a group headed by Joe Mindak. And without reservation, we, the members of Post 3, agreed to take it on. When we brought it in front of you, the Westfield Town Council, there was no hesitation. You gave us your support then, and you have continued your support to this day. And we can't thank you enough for your moral support and your financial gifts that will assure that this project to not only house 22 homeless veterans, but also give many at-risk veterans a place to seek counsel and education so that they can better move on with their lives. What we're doing at the Westfield Armory is so important to this project. It's going to give us a foundation so that we can start paying the people who have put their time and effort in with pretty much gratis at this point. And we're now asking the town to support us. All the members of the council have been beside us. All the members of our post have been part of all of this. Now we need the town to get up and help us, help those who gave their time, and some of them gave their lives, and some of them returned and really have suffered, and we need to help them, and that's what this project is about. I can't stress enough the importance of every little thing that we put together. We need the support of this town and you. Thank you very much.
So, Alan? Hey, Alan, everybody come up to Jim's suggestion. Let's come up and let's get a picture with all you guys, and we can promote that and get some.
Hold that up there. Yeah, you go up on the dice there, yeah.
Can we shift everybody this way a little bit? Everybody in a little bit more? This side in a little bit more, guys, if you can.
Get close, get close.
There you go. Oh, perfect. That was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I might as well do that while I'm up. And while I'm up here, right? So while I'm up here and before we get into our agenda, we also have a competition for CASA. Thank you for coming. The coordinator. Lauren or Laura? Laura, not Laura. Nice to meet you all. We are thrilled to have this proclamation honoring CASA during Child Abuse Prevention Month. We do this every year, and we're thrilled to do this and be huge supporters of CASA and its mission. So whereas children are vital to our town's future success, prosperity, and quality of life. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a community responsibility affecting both the current and future quality of life of a community. And whereas all members of our community have a role to play in strengthening families to ensure children grow up in a safe, nurturing environment free from fear, abuse, and neglect. And whereas all children deserve to have safe, stable, nurturing, and healthy homes that foster their well-being. And whereas there are close to 300 children in Union County who enter the child welfare system due to abuse and/or neglect, and some of those children reside in our town. And whereas court-appointed special advocates, known as CASA, has provided court-appointed volunteer advocates for children throughout Union County, including in Westfield, who have been removed from their home due to abuse and/or neglect. And whereas, due to an unmet need, CASA of Passaic County expanded its reach to support the close to 300 abused and neglected children living in foster care in Union County, forming CASA of Passaic and Union Counties. And whereas CASA of Passaic and Union Counties needs additional advocates for all the children who are eligible for an advocate due to a limited number of volunteers. And whereas, as of April 2024, CASA, Passaic, and Union Counties will officially operate under the new organization umbrella name called Child Focus to more fully support the multi-program approach to mitigating the negative effects of child abuse on children within our communities. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Shelley Brindle, on behalf of the Town Council, calls upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, elected leaders, and businesses in Westfield to increase their participation in their efforts to support children who have been abused and neglected and placed into foster care. And be it further resolved that the Westfield Town Council supports the Child Focus organization and the mission of the CASA program and proclaims April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the town of Westfield. So thrilled. This is Courtney and Laura, and we're thrilled. And I know historically, I've always said Westfield had provided a disproportionate amount and number of volunteers for CASA, and it's something that I know that we are very proud of as a community. So we welcome you both here this evening, and I'll let you say a few words.
Thank you so much. I'm going to get my notes, if that's okay. Or I'll ramble on. Mayor Brindle and members of the Westfield Town Council, thank you so much for having us here and for, again, supporting this important cause and raising awareness for this important issue in our community. Again, my name is Courtney Como. I'm joined by Laura Nanda, my colleague and Westfield resident. And we're so proud to work for the Child Focus organization that does support the Court-Appointed Special Advocates Program, otherwise known as CASA. I'm sure that acronym rings a bell. As described in the proclamation, our aim is to recruit and train volunteers, individuals from this community and from surrounding communities who are eager and able to stand up for the well-being of abused and neglected children living in foster care. Last year, as Mayor Brindle said in the proclamation, there were close to 300 children living in foster care in Union County alone. Children are living in foster care placed into the system through no fault of their own, yet at that moment their lives are traumatically altered forever. The process of being removed from their family is just traumatic, and these children have been through multiple traumatic, abusive experiences, the likes of which most of us can only imagine. One important aim of the CASA program is through advocacy in the family court system to mitigate the negative impact that trauma, that abuse has on their life trajectory. Our hope is that through the kind, caring, compassionate work of advocates, we will ensure that each and every one of these children is on a path to a safe and happy home. We are proud to say that so many of our CASA volunteers are Westfield residents. Through this proclamation and building awareness, we hope that others in town and surrounding communities will be encouraged to learn more about becoming an advocate and learn about what it takes to dedicate time and the impact that an advocate can have on the life of a child. Anyone who is interested should check out our website, childfocusnj.org, to learn more. Thank you again for your time and for raising this awareness.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick picture before you leave so we can add to the promotion and publicity for your Okay. Thank you all for being here. And ladies, you can stay, but you don't have to. I'm just want to say we will. I do want to remind everybody that public comment will be accepted in person. We have been continuing to have sporadic technical difficulties with Facebook Live, so we're going to continue to use YouTube Live, which I know a lot of municipalities do. And so in order to continue to deliver this in a more reliable live stream format, so I think going forward, just assume it's always going to be on YouTube Live, and we will continue to provide it always on Facebook, YouTube, and TV 36. I do want to highlight just a few items of interest to the community. I wanted to say Eid Mubarak to all of our Muslim friends and neighbors celebrating Eid al-Fitr in the coming days. As you mark the end of the holy month of Ramadan, we join you in reflecting on the values of compassion, gratitude, and community, and wish you a peaceful and joyous holiday. I also want to bring attention to some really great events coming up in this month and really kicking off, I think, a really busy summer. There's a Historic Preservation Commission is hosting a discussion entitled Suburban Modern Homes of the Early 20th Century on April 18th. David Contract isn't here, so I would let him do all the promotions for the Westfield Green Team is celebrating Earth Month with the very popular Free Market, which is on April 20th, same day as the fundraiser we just talked about, and park cleanups will be on April 21st. So fingers crossed for great weather, and always it's a great turnout. I also want to bring your attention to Family Autism Day on April 27th, a very popular event hosted by the Police and Recreation Departments in recognition of Autism Acceptance Month. Open Quimby is going to be back beginning April 27th, and the Downtown Westfield Corporation is kicking it off with a weekly Spring into Fitness programming, which will be on Open Quimby every week for a month, I think. The Westfield Mental Health Council will host its annual Walk for Cake and Mental Health Fair on April 28th. That's in Mindawaskin, and then the fair is across the street at the YMCA. In all these events are available and information on the website, so a lot going on. On tonight's legislative agenda, we have several important items from the Finance Policy Committee. Ordinances on second reading to establish a cap bank and to approve the capital budget. As we discussed at our last meeting, we're very excited about the capital budget because it includes significant investments in infrastructure and facility improvements, public safety, parks and recreation, equipment, vehicles, lots of traffic and pedestrian safety initiatives. And the public hearing and anticipated adoption of the operating budget is in 3 weeks, April 30th. Please, if you've not reviewed the budget information on our website, please do so. You can see all the details behind our very strong 23 performance, which includes a proposed and popular 0% municipal tax increase this year. I'm going to hand it over to Councilman Dardia, who is our chair of our Public Safety, Transportation, Parking Committee, and he's going to discuss an ordinance that we're introducing on first reading tonight. Councilman Dardia.
Thank you, Mayor. So tonight's ordinance on first reading proposes the installation of a four-way stop at the intersection of Clark Street and Dudley Avenue. This is an item we've been discussing in the Public Safety Committee since late last year in response to some concerns voiced by residents in the area. We then had our independent traffic consultant perform a warrant analysis for the intersection to determine if it in fact meets the state-determined threshold for this installation, in which it does. Tonight's introduction of the ordinance reflects our efforts to improve safety conditions for pedestrians and motorists at this busy intersection.
So with that, thank you, Councilman. That's a great and very needed improvement. So tonight, with that, we'll get to work. So, Ms. Lashy, are there any advertised hearings?
Yes, Mayor, there are two advertised hearings tonight, starting with General Ordinance 2024-07, an ordinance for calendar year 2024 to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A 4-4514. Anyone wishing to be heard on General Ordinance number 2024-07, please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is Special Ordinance number 2024-02, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, new communication and signal systems equipment, and new automotive vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the town of Westfield in the county of Union, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $4,484,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment or fully fund appropriations from the capital improvement fund, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Anyone wishing to be heard on special ordinance number 2024-02, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed. Councilman Domagala, please move for the adoption of General Ordinance number 2024-07.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move the adoption of the General Ordinance number 2024-07, an ordinance for calendar year 2024 to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A 4-45, spot 14.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey, Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried.
Mayor, I'd like to move for the adoption of Special Ordinance number 2024-02, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, new communication and signal systems equipment, and new automotive vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment, in, by, and for the town of Westfield in the county of Union, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $4,484,000. $4,484,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make the down payment or fully fund appropriations from the Capital Improvement Fund, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
May I have a second? Second by Councilman Mackey. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey, Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the Town Council Conference and regular meetings of March 26, 2024? Moved by Councilman Mackey. Second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Domagala. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Now it's time for open discussion by citizens. Anyone may come up to the microphone and speak to the council on any subject on which we have jurisdiction. Please state your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Rich Panikiewski, 233 Charles Street. Good evening. 6 weeks ago, I read a letter to the mayor and town council regarding a request for a cumulative impact study to investigate the combined effect of all of the planned construction on Westfield's infrastructure. I did not attend the last 2 town council meetings as I was traveling. I am back to continue our conversation. As you are already aware, I'm a licensed professional engineer who is affiliated with the Westfield Advocates for Responsible Development. We have tracked over 20 large construction projects that have been built or approved since 2017. 4 of these projects, the Sophia, 1 Westfield Place, Westfield Crossing, and the Williams Nursery redevelopment site include large numbers of new dwelling units and small footprints with vertical construction to previously unprecedented building heights. There have been approximately 950 new dwelling units approved for construction, which is in addition to approximately 350,000 square feet of approved non-residential use space. The Westfield Advocates are unaware of any coordinated investigation which takes a cumulative, all-inclusive approach to identify and establish the combined impacts of all planned and approved construction. The Master Plan Reexamination Report, as adopted in 2019, does not incorporate projects like the Sophia and 1 Westfield Place. Such widespread construction will have a major impact on the traffic, infrastructure, and everyday life activities of the town. Although no past benchmarks likely exist, the changes in things like domestic water, electric and gas requirements, anticipated sewage and stormwater flows, pedestrian and vehicular traffic, artificial lighting levels, and so on can be predicted using proven scientific and engineering methods. In response to my most recent letter, Mayor Brindle offered some commentary at the end of the February 27th meeting. Mayor Brindle advised that Mr. Gildea had previously directed us to a town website resource which documents the town's investigation into infrastructure impact. Perhaps the mayor's understanding of the meaning of infrastructure is different than that of a licensed engineer, because there's no mention of any investigation of things like domestic water demand, anticipated sewage flows, gas and electric distribution, etc. As such, the Westfield resource fails to address the issue at hand. This is concerning because part of the rationale behind declaring our town in need of redevelopment and rehabilitation relates to our aging infrastructure, which is over 50 years old. In her February 27th response to my letter, Mayor Brindle also advised that the town is participating with adjacent towns on a border impact study, and to quote Mayor Brindle, "That's what we're going to continue to do." I applaud the town's efforts to participate in the border impact study. However, I must remind the mayor and our town council that they have absolutely zero jurisdiction on what the neighboring towns are doing, and the information to be gained from such a border study will be useful, but it will not help us decipher the impact the construction in our town will have on our infrastructure. If our domestic water and sewer mains on North Avenue are undersized for the increased demand brought on by all of the construction, I seriously doubt Scotch Plains or Garwood are going to help us solve the problem. I attended the most recent planning board meeting at which the Apple Montessori School proposed a circular driveway for the drop-off and pickup of approximately 160 students during rush hour. The driveway enters and exits directly to South Avenue in the area where Windsor Avenue intersects South Avenue. The orientation of the driveway is such that all vehicles exiting the driveway must proceed west on South Avenue. I questioned the traffic engineer regarding whether or not other future planned construction on South Avenue going toward the west was considered in his analysis. His response did not provide a specific answer to my question, so I checked his report that had previously been submitted to the planning board. The report provides only an analysis pertaining to the intersection of Windsor Avenue and South Avenue. This is a prime example of glancing at a limited microcosmic viewpoint in lieu of examining the much larger, more complex range of scope. At this point, I'm going to turn over the microphone to my wife, Ann, who is the next speaker and who will finish presenting my letter tonight. Thank you.
Ann Panikiewski, 233 Charles Street. Mayor Brindle, I am again hereby presenting the concept and alerting the town to engage in a cumulative impact investigation. Such an investigation goes far beyond the number of trees being planted, the number of shoppers and walking wallets being anticipated, and the number of commuters we hope to attract. It gets into the nuts and bolts of how our redeveloped community will operate on a granular, functional basis. I offer an example of two current large developments, one located along the New Jersey coast and one located in South Jersey, both of whom created big problems for their communities. Similar to Westfield, both communities were faced with state-mandated affordable housing requirements. Both declared their communities as areas in need of redevelopment, and both engaged in large multi-unit construction projects that impacted their communities in major ways. Neither of these projects took the time to effectively look at how they, along with their ongoing construction projects, would impact the infrastructure of their communities. Having now been either completed or close to completion, both of these developments have created situations whereby the domestic water supply systems have been so overburdened by these developments that it will be necessary to retroactively increase the size of water mains. As anyone with the knowledge of construction will tell you, the cost to make major changes to a construction project after the construction process is in full swing is 3 to 4 times that of making the design changes on paper before the construction begins. Mayor Brindle, let us not make the same type of mistake. The time to look at this issue is now, while many of our projects are still lines on a piece of paper that can be modified. This small, prudent investment now will provide valuable information pertaining to current and future capital budget priorities. Before leaving the microphone tonight, I have one last request. In lieu of generalized rebuttal with no time limit that Mayor Brindle typically offers to each citizen that spoke, I hereby ask that Mayor Brindle present her response to my commentary in a written statement on the town's website so that all citizens can fully appreciate her position on this issue. In my line of work, we call this putting your money where your mouth is. I look forward to continue our discussion at the next town council meeting. Thank you on behalf of Richard Panikis.
Carla Bonacci, 603 Lawrence Ave. I just want to make a comment on the planning board meeting that I attended last Monday regarding Westfield Crossing and the daycare center. My biggest concern in watching that proceeding is that the traffic analysis was inadequate to satisfy people's questions about the traffic impact to South Avenue. There was also a concern about the public courtyard between the two buildings for Phase 1 that had been intended to be a public park, if you will, but is now a private playground. And I don't think that people had an issue with some of that playground or that area becoming private, but the idea that there was a loss of public space. It was brought to everyone's attention that there was an ability to share in terms of making about 2,000 square feet for the public and about 7,000 square feet for the private playground, and it would have maintained some of the integrity that the initial planning board and developer had intended. So I thought it was I was disappointed that no one asked the applicant to go back and look at their traffic analysis and answer questions, and no one asked them to go back and modify that park playground area. So that's really what I wanted to share with all of you, because a lot of these things go on and you're not participating or perhaps aware of what happens at those sessions. I like to think that we can do a better job and push applicants to provide even better designs. So I wanted to share that with all of you.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I close this public comment. And Ms. Bonacci, I'm happy to address the planning board meeting because I was there, as you well know. And just for everybody here so that they understand, the traffic assessment that was done for the daycare, because the planning board did express some concerns, even in spite of they had a very well-reasoned plan for pickup and drop-off. But they agreed to do a 6-month post-development analysis to see if what the actual impact is. And what she didn't mention is that in the back of Westfield Crossing, there are 17 parking spots that have been banked. And so if for whatever reason the traffic problems arise, as she feared, they will actually close off that drop-off and require people to park in the back and do that drop-off. So we have an opportunity to readdress it, and there's opportunities for an alternative. And by the way, it's only in the morning. They don't use that circle for pickup in the evening because people come at different times of the day. So it's really only a morning issue. And regarding the public space on the Montessori school, yes, there was some disappointment in the fact that the courtyard is going to be exclusively for the Montessori school. However, the 12,000 square feet of the space that they're taking up was a permitted use in the redevelopment plan, and so that has to be allowed. And there is a state mandate to have a certain amount of outside requirement to keep their license, and that playground is associated with that. I think the planning board's initial concern was really about outdoor space for the residents. there is significant outdoor space on the second floor of each of those. There's one has a pool and one has a whole outdoor area, which hopefully you'll get to tour it and see. So, so I think all of those concerns, or those few concerns that she brought up, were adequately addressed in the planning board meeting. And to that end, I will say, I think one thing we should be really grateful for, because I know the Westfield advocates were specific about concerns about filling up any of the space. The developer actually mentioned at the meeting, it is quite remarkable that they're opening with all of their space being fully leased. Alpha Fit is moving their headquarters and their main space. They're taking up 5,000 square feet of space, and Apple Montessori is addressing a dire need of daycare shortage in town and taking up the other 12,000 suites. So they're going to be opening and be fully leased, which I think is something we should all be really happy about. And I obviously you brought up the impact study. Your request is duly noted, and there was a significant impact study done with One Westfield Place and others, but also like I said, your request is duly noted, and I think everybody up here is aware of what you've asked. And with that, we are going on to bills and claims. So Councilman Delgado, you're up again.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move bills and claims in the amount of $2,950,906.77.
May I have a second?
Second.
Who said that? Second by Councilman Saunders. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Next on the agenda is reports of standing committees, beginning with the Finance Policy Committee. You're up again, Councilman Delgado.
I am back. I have 7 resolutions I would like to move as a package. Resolution number 1, authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to refund Recreation Department fees. 2, a resolution authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to draw a warrant for dog licenses for March 2024. 3, a resolution authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to draw a warrant for unused parking permit fees. Number 4, resolution authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to draw a warrant for the Board of Adjustment escrow monies. 5, resolution authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to draw a warrant for the first quarter construction official state permit fees. Number 6, resolution authorizing the state tax collector to cancel tax balance. And number 7, resolution authorizing the purchase of health department vehicles.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Mackey. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion has carried. Next up is Public Safety Transportation Parking Committee, Councilman Dardia.
Mayor, I'd like to move General Ordinance number 2024-08 on first reading, an ordinance to amend the code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 13.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia?
Yes.
Delgado?
Yes.
Kiefer?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Armento?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Mayor Brindle?
Yes, this motion is carried. May I have a motion to adjourn? So by Councilman Dardia, second? Second by Councilman Mackey. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried, and this meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody.